So here's the latest on the mass firings of probationary federal workers and the now infamous email from the Office of Personnel Management asking federal employees to detail what they did last week. Hi, I'm Tom Spiggle with the Spiggle Law Firm. Help people who've been fired or afraid they might be in Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and California. We help federal workers nationwide. So the saga with the email continues with the ping-ponging back and forth between what the official response from the government is and what Musk and Trump say is the import of this email. OPM's guidance is still good, that the email is voluntary. Trump most recently said that he supported Elon Musk's efforts and that employees who didn't respond would be on the bubble and might get fired. So whatever that means. This email and the mass firings of probationary employees is before a court in California, a federal court. The court heard oral arguments today. Prior to those oral arguments, the government had to answer the question, was this mass firing directed by OPM? And if it was, why were employees fired for performance when they had exemplary record? That wasn't the exact question, but that was the import of it. The government today responded in open court that this was left up to the individual agencies to make this determination and that this wasn't a blanket mass firings. The facts seem to suggest otherwise. The court's also asked to opine about the legality of this OPM email, and we'll see what the court has to say about that. The Trump administration also challenged the ability of the plaintiffs to have standing in that case. They've had some success in this in other cases, essentially arguing that the groups that were suing lacked some specific harm and so couldn't bring the lawsuit. So those arguments were raised yesterday. So we await the federal court's opinion on that. It should be an interesting one. So here's an update to a video that I did literally just a couple hours ago. The news coming from federal courts is just fast and furious when it comes to the new Trump administration. So I posted just an hour ago about the case in California. So the judge just a few minutes ago issued a temporary restraining order. So this is not the end of the case. This is just the judge, as the name implies, granting temporary relief while the case proceeds forward. But there was some really great language that the judge had. One particular quote, "OPM does not have the authority whatsoever under any statute in the history of the universe to hire or fire any employees but its own." So the judge ordered that the agency rescind a January 20 memo and the lovely Valentine's Day, February 14th email from OPM directing agencies to slash their workforce by firing a bunch of probationary employees. The administration's counter argument was, hey, this wasn't an order by OPM. That was just providing guidance on how agencies might do this, because I don't think, the judge would contest that the agencies themselves have the power to dismiss probationary employees, provided they do it in a lawful way. But the judge responded, how could all that happen with each agency deciding on its own to do something so aberrational? I don't believe it. So a strong opinion from the judge. As for the workers who have already been fired, we'll see if the judge ultimately has any relief for them. I think this certainly gives them a strong argument if they're able to appeal their matters to the MSPB, the Merit Systems Protection Board. This would be strong evidence that their firings were illegal. So stay tuned. This case is going to be interesting. I'm sure the Trump administration is hopping mad.